Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Combat Craig, and today we're talking about high value secondary claims, how to get started, and when can you file one. So I'm going to start off with an example here. Got my little pencil. We're going to try doing a little iPad thing here. When we're talking about high value claims, I'm talking about the combined ratings table. So we're looking for disabilities that are 30% or higher, because the combined ratings table is kind of weird. If you have 10 and a 30 and a 20, you would think that's 60%, right? Nope. It's 50% because of the combined rating table. And then just some other things on here, all these deferreds and deferreds and deferred and deferred. That means that they didn't have enough evidence to adjudicate your claim up front. So it's not good or bad, but it would have been better if you would have brought medical evidence up front, and then you wouldn't have this problem. And then if we go over here to this other side, we have 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and 50. So that should be what, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, right? Should be 100, but it's not. It's 70% because we're working with the combined ratings tables. So the way the VA calculates this stuff is a little bit weird, and you need to be aware of that. 30 plus 20 doesn't necessarily equal 50. The higher up you go, the higher your rating is, the more VA math in the combined ratings table works against you. So I wanted to kind of start off there and show you what I'm talking about. If you're adding in low value claims, 10% plus 10%, and you have a lot of those aren't going to move the needle on your claim very much. You want to get high value claims in there, and 30% or higher is what you should be shooting for. This one's at 30, that one's at 30, this one's at 50, that's at 70. Those are going to get you into the hundo club. I'm going to be talking a lot about tinnitus because that's a good anchor claim. So when we're talking about secondary service connections, you're going to see this little arrow right here. So this is PTSD with 30%, and then he filed a secondary for headaches, and then he got 0% service connected for it. So 0% means the severity of symptoms. My writing's horrible. Of symptoms were not documented properly. If the true severity of the symptoms were documented properly, then this wouldn't be 0%. It would be 10, 30, or 50. So that's one thing to note on here. So in this particular demonstration, I'm just showing you what this little arrow is. And then here's a zoomed in version over here of another little arrow. So that's what a secondary looks like. And if you have a secondary claim, you can just look into va.gov and look at your ratings, and the screen will pop up. Tinnitus is the claim that's most filed and most won. Tinnitus and hearing loss. I think it's the most filed and it's the most won because it's something that we kind of hear about. Maybe even VA did some marketing there for us. And, file for tinnitus. Don't file for 70% PTSD as a money-saving effort. I don't know, but tinnitus and hearing loss are the top two claims. So you should be service connected for tinnitus. And I'm going to go on that assumption, or hearing loss. But, anything will work. When we're talking about service connected tinnitus, it needs to be service connected. So when you're looking through all your disabilities right over here, it needs to say tinnitus, and then over here it needs to say service connected. If it says not service connected, then you cannot file a secondary. You can't file a secondary claim secondary to something that's not service connected yet. So as I'm using tinnitus as an example, it applies to anything. Whatever you have service connected, what can you hook secondaries on? And then here's an example of service connected, right? You wouldn't want to use this one, right lower extremity, not service connected. That's not going to work for a secondary. This will work, this will work, this will work, this will work, right? Anything that's service connected will work. These two right here are 0%, but you're service connected. When you're 0% service connected, you could still file secondaries. In order to file secondary, the barrier to entry is it has to be service connected at any compensable rating or non. 0%. Just can't be not service connected. So you have tinnitus. It's a 10% and it's service connected. Now you have points on the board. Now you can file secondary claims. This is where the magic happens. Here is the best example I can think of right here. Filing a secondary claim that's high value, secondary to tinnitus. So we have bilateral tinnitus. It doesn't matter if it's just tinnitus, unilateral, unibrow, unicorn. There's only one tinnitus. Whether it's in one ear or both ears, it's 10%. We got 10% service connected. Got the little arrow here. And this veteran filed a secondary claim for somatic symptom disorder, which is for the pain. This is where the pain is picked up from the tinnitus. And he got 50%. So tinnitus is 10 plus 50. First, you need to get some points on the board, like tinnitus. Then you want to go up farther and crank up that rating with high-value claims. A secondary for somatic symptom disorder is a very good secondary claim. That's a good way to get your VA rating up easily. Here's another secondary, the little arrow here. And this is adjustment disorder with mixed anxiety, depressed mood, 50%, service connected. Perfect. There's another secondary for tinnitus, and this one was for depression. Mental health is really easy to service connect for tinnitus, but you're going to need a current diagnosis, current symptoms, and a nexus, especially when you're filing secondary claims, because these claims are secondary. They happen, years after you got out of service. So you need to explain why this depression is only caused by this tinnitus. It's not because your wife left you or some other stuff or some other injury that you didn't sustain on active duty because you're 50 like me or something like that. So you're going to need medical evidence, and you're going to need to get it from a private doctor. You could try a VA doctor, try your private doctor, and if they won't help you out, there's an email address right here on the screen. I'll put it up here. Send them an email and tell them what you need help with. Do you need help with a diagnosis, symptoms, or a nexus? And then they'll shoot you an email back and tell you if they can help you or not. So that's a resource for you. How to establish service connections secondary to tinnitus. 3 evidentiary elements must be satisfied, right? You need the medical diagnosis part right here. Current service-connected primary disability, like your tinnitus, right? And you need to have a nexus establishing the connection between the two. The first part can be satisfied with existing medical evidence in service treatment records. If you're already service-connected, you don't need to fight that part. The second part can be satisfied with a veteran's existing service-connected disability rated at 0% or higher. Remember when I was saying it has to be service-connected and 0% counts. It just has to be service-connected. And then the third part here is the often missing link is the nexus. Nexus means link. What is the nexus between the disability you're trying to file a claim for, your depression, and your tinnitus? What's the relationship? And a doctor needs to make that relationship. You could do it all day long. I believe you. The VA won't believe you. They need medical evidence. So however you go get a doctor, whatever doctor you want to use, just make sure they're a board certified, legit doctor. I wouldn't be having a chiropractor opining on mental health issues. They need to be the right kind of doctor. Mental health stuff is a psychologist, psychiatrist. I wouldn't even use social workers. And then for MD stuff, they could do all sort of orthopedic, migraines, sleep apnea, all that kind of stuff. So those are the 3 things to get a secondary condition for tinnitus service connected. If you don't have a nexus, your claim will be denied. So this secondary right here is radiculopathy. That was secondary to something else. And then he tried to do a secondary on top of that and another secondary. And you could do as many secondaries as you want. It's limitless. You could have tinnitus and then you could have 15 secondaries. Get into the Hundo Club and you could do that. But you have to prove it. So this example here is didn't prove it, right? Not service connected, bad. Not service connected, bad. None of this stuff. Didn't prove any of this. Something is missing. The diagnosis, the symptoms, or the nexus. Could be 1, could be 2, could be all 3 of those things. But this is no good, right? This is wasting your time. You went and filed this claim, got your hopes up, all that kind of stuff. You didn't get medical evidence, and you just wasted 5 months. And if you're going to appeal this and you still don't have medical evidence, don't just do a higher level review. Go get new and relevant medical evidence and file a supplemental claim. Or, another option you could do is lawyer up if that's what you want to do. And if lawyering up is what you want to do, I check out the sponsor of today's video, Hill and Ponton. They might be able to help you out with your appeal or TDIU claim. This is what they deal with. Lawyers get involved in the appeals process. So go to hillandponton.com, see if those guys can help you out if you need to appeal. If you don't prove the severity of your condition, you'll get 0%. So we have left foot hallux valgus, 0%. It's not severe enough to warrant any kind of monetary compensation. And then right foot, 0% here. The good part is, because I'll use my green pen, right? It's service connected. So once you're service connected, then you need to just show the severity of your symptoms. An independent medical opinion will work, or a DBQ will work, something that's documenting the severity of your symptoms. And you should know, what the rating criteria is. If you're shooting for a 30% rating for your feet, you should know what they're going to be looking for and what you need to be doing. Makes sense, right? A high value claim is not something that happened in service. It happened because one of your service-connected disabilities caused it, right? One of your service-connected disabilities caused this secondary condition. If you're service-connected for tinnitus, right, and you develop one of these conditions years later, then you can file them as secondary claims. Here's a couple. Somatic symptom disorder. I just showed an example of that. Anxiety is a good one. Depression is a good one. Migraine's a good one. Meniere's disease is a good one. There's no limit. There's probably 800 rateable conditions. 700 of those probably could be secondary to tinnitus. Do your research, do your homework, Google around, see if other people have won it, see if it's logical. If it is, go down that road, but don't sell yourself. We get into this thing where it's like, oh, I got something wrong with me. I'm going to make this stick. That might not be the path of least resistance for you. So keep an open mind, do your research, and once you buckle down and get ready to file a claim, make sure that you're on point. If you want to, talk about strategy and being on point, check out my boot camp. Links in the description. Sign up at combatcraig.com. We could talk live, and I can go over what you're going to do. If you want that kind of advice, I'd be more than happy to do it for you. That's why I set up boot camp for you guys, so we can have some kind of venue other than YouTube, because this is like a one-way conversation. Speaking of one-way conversations, if you enjoy this kind of content about VA claims and you like my cowboy hat or whatever, go ahead and hit the subscribe and like button. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. And then if you're a hater, a Combat Craig hater, you guys need to hit the dislike button twice. You want to file high-value claims that pay, right? Low-value claims don't pay. We're trying to get paid here. We're trying to get paid in benefits. We're trying to get paid for our dependents. We're trying to get our health care. We're trying to get money. Whatever it all is paid. So if you're going to spend effort trying to get paid, go get paid, right? Here's a couple of high-value claims right here. So we have IBS. That's a 30%er. That's a good one. Left shoulder strain with all this stuff, claimed as arthritis. That's a 30%er. So those are good. We got our tinnitus anchor claim, but generally speaking, 10%ers don't really add up. If that's all you have to work with to get your go on your secondary claim venture, then that's what you have to work with. But once you're getting up to 30, 40, 50, 60%, it makes a big difference once you get up here. So you want to be going after 30% or higher. That's what you're going for. Figure out what you need to do to get that. All right, on this one, we have another example of some secondaries. So see the little arrows right here? So we have traumatic arthritis, DDD, 10%, check. Service connected, check. Cool. Now we could file secondaries. So that's what we did. Radiculopathy got 10%. Nice. 10%. Service connected, sorry. And then radiculopathy, left lower extremity. So got another 10% for that. And service connected. So this is good, but it was lowballed. And, you know, with radiculopathy, a good rating for that is 20% in each leg. But again, you know, when you start adding 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, and you're wondering why it comes up to 30, combined ratings table. You know what? I have a video right here. I'm going to put a video right here, like right here. And you should go check out my video on combined ratings table. I break it down Barney style in there. So we'll go into the combined ratings table a little bit. So 80% is the combined rating over here. So 70, PTSD, service connected, PTSD combat. It's either PTSD combat or PTSD non-combat. We got a thoracolumbar strain at 10% right here. And then we have a cervical strain at 10%. So 70 plus 10 plus 10 does not equal 90, it equals 80. So keep that in mind, combined ratings table. Here's some more claims we should look at. We're looking for high value claims here. So get the green marker out. PTSD at 70% combat, right? That's a good high value claim. Bilateral hearing loss, that's actually a pretty high rating. That's not bad either. We'll put that in the kind of cool pile and a nice little checkbox and a smiley face with a nose, some hair. I don't have hair or drawing skills. Tinnitus is in here. I'm showing you these examples because tinnitus is literally service connected for everybody. Allergic rhinitis, you know, that sucks. Got 0%. Got to figure out how to crank that up. It is service connected. Prostate cancer, 60%. Agent Orange issue right here, right? So that's a good rating. And then he filed a secondary, right? There's a little arrow right here for impotency. Got 0% service connected. This is most likely SMCK. You get 0%, but they actually compensate you about $118 a month. So this is a good one. Loss of use of the creative organ. And then we also have another secondary for a scar. It's 10%. It's low value, but you know, it adds in here. And then we have a left knee injury, and he got a 30%. That's service connected. So this is a, find a different color. High value. Whoops. High value, 70%, 60%, 30%. Those are high value claims. Those will move the needle on your claim. Again, you need medical evidence. If your doctor won't provide you with a diagnosis, the severity of your symptoms, or a nexus, try medical experts at secondstrata.com. Please include your phone number when you send them an email and tell them what you need. Do you need a diagnosis? Do you need the severity of your symptoms documented? Or do you need a nexus? And they'll tell you what they could do for you.